This morning was supposed to be calm. But the moment Huyen stepped into the market, everything changed. Fresh pomelos, still scented with leaves, sat on her stall, and she'd barely had time to call out to customers when her former mother-in-law suddenly appeared. Without any warning, she asked a question that stopped Huyen cold. "Maya says you scold her a lot. Is that true?" Before Huyen could explain, the woman insisted she go home and tell Maya to stop talking, as if there was some secret about to come out. And just when Huyen was still trying to process it all, another problem surfaced on the other side. Ja's mother brought home a strange young woman with no place to stay and urgently called Jay back for a serious talk. One side is the past confronting her in a crowded market. The other is new trouble brewing at home. How will Huyen keep the peace before Tet watch until the end? Because one morning encounter may change everything. Before sunrise, while the air is still cold and the streets are quiet, Jay and Huyen are already on the move. They head out early for work, knowing the day ahead will be long. But with Tet drawing closer, Huyen doesn't let the morning pass without thinking about how to bring in a little extra. Between responsibilities and deadlines, she squeezes in a stop at a familiar garden, one she knows well, one where the owner recognizes her the moment she steps through the gate. She explains quickly that she wants to buy pomelos to sell at the market. Nothing fancy, just good fruit for the holiday, sweet, ripe, and worth the effort. The garden owner nods and walks her over to the trees, taking his time to show her exactly what to look for. These are the older pomelos. He explains the ones that have fully matured. Their skins are thinner, the fruit heavier in the hand. Some are so ripe they've already dropped to the ground on their own. Those are usually the sweetest. He reminds her to be careful when harvesting. Cut the stems short so they don't bruise the fruit during transport. A small detail, but one that matters when you're selling by appearance as much as taste. Customers may not know the difference at first glance, but they'll feel it once they get the fruit home. Huyen listens closely, nodding as she works. She moves from tree to tree, selecting carefully, lifting each pomelo to judge its weight before placing it into her sack. She's not in a rush. She knows exactly how many she can realistically sell in a morning without risking leftovers. By the time she's done, she has around 30 pomelos, enough to make the trip worthwhile, but not so many that she'll struggle to move them all. Once the picking is finished, she counts them out and settles the price. As is tradition, she asks politely if the owner can knock a little off. It's not a demand, just a hopeful question. He smiles and agrees, shaving off a small amount. It's not much, but every bit helps, especially this close to Tet, when expenses seem to multiply overnight. Huyen ties the sack tightly, double-checking the knots so nothing shifts on the road. The bag is heavy now, solid with promise. She loads it carefully onto her motorbike, making sure the fruit is balanced and secure. There's no room for mistakes. One bad bump could ruin everything. As she heads toward the market, the sky begins to lighten. Vendors are already setting up, laying out tarps, arranging baskets, calling greetings to one another. The market slowly comes alive, in layers: first movement, then sound, then color. Huyen finds her usual spot, unloads the pomelos, and wipes her hands on her pants before arranging them neatly in rows. The pomelos still carry the faint scent of leaves and fresh cut stems. They look good, round, full, inviting. She feels a small sense of satisfaction seeing them lined up. This isn't just fruit. It's the result of planning effort and a willingness to work around an already packed schedule. She straightens up and takes a breath, ready to start calling out to customers. This is how Huyen prepares for Tet, not with grand gestures or big investments, but with small, thoughtful decisions made early in the morning. She knows the market well. She knows what sells, how much to take, when to bargain, and when to stop. Every step is practical, grounded in experience. Selling pomelos may seem simple from the outside, but there's a rhythm to it. Choosing the right fruit, keeping costs low, moving quickly before the day heats up. All of it matters. And even though she's tired before the day has really begun, there's also a quiet determination in the way she works. This stop at the garden, this sack of pomelos, it's one more piece of her Tet preparations falling into place. Not everything can be planned, and not everything will go smoothly. But for now, standing at her stall as the market wakes up around her, Huyen feels ready. Ready to sell, ready to hustle, ready to face whatever the day decides to bring next. Just as Huyen is settling into the rhythm of the morning at the market, something she doesn't expect walks straight into her day. She's standing behind her stall, arranging pomelos and answering questions from passing customers, when she looks up and freezes. Her former mother-in-law is standing there, face tense, eyes fixed on her. There's no small talk, no greeting. It's immediately clear that this isn't a casual visit. The woman wastes no time. She says she's come because she has something she needs to ask, clearly. Last time she went to Huyen's house, no one was home, and the issue has been bothering her ever since. Her tone is sharp-edged with frustration. It's clearly been building for days. Then she drops the question loud enough that a few nearby vendors glance over. Maya says you scold her a lot. Is that true? The words hit Huyen like a sudden gust of cold air. For a moment, she just stands there caught off guard. This is the last place she expects to have this conversation, out in the open, in the middle of a busy market with people all around. She feels her chest tighten, a mix of shock and disbelief washing over her. She takes a breath and answers carefully. She says she hasn't scolded Maya. Not like that. If the child said something, it may have been said casually, misunderstood, or exaggerated. Kids talk. They repeat things without fully understanding them. Or maybe someone else added details along the way, turning a small comment into something much bigger. But her explanation doesn't seem to calm the situation. Her former mother-in-law's expression hardens. She explains that after hearing Maya's words, the adults in the house started to misunderstand the situation. Whispers followed. Accusations were made. And when she went back home, those misunderstandings turned into criticism aimed directly at her. Being blamed like that makes her angry and nervous. She keeps repeating that this kind of talk could expose things, though she never clearly says what those things are. That's when Huyen realizes this isn't just about a child being upset. There's something else underneath: fear of gossip, fear of secrets spreading, fear of losing control over a story that's already started to grow on its own. Huyen stays calm, even though she feels the pressure rising. She repeats firmly this time that she did not mistreat Maya. She has no reason to. She cares about the child and has never intentionally hurt her with words. If Maya said something, it wasn't meant the way it's being interpreted now. But instead of accepting this, her former mother-in-law takes another step forward, lowering her voice, but making her demand even clearer. She insists that Huyen go back home and speak to Maya directly. Not to clarify, not to understand, but to tell her to stop talking about it, to stop telling stories, to stop saying anything at all so things don't become more complicated. The request makes Huyen uncomfortable. It sounds less like a solution and more like an attempt to silence a child before rumors spread further. Standing there in the market with her pomelos laid out neatly in front of her, Huyen feels torn. Part of her wants to defend herself more strongly, to ask why the blame is falling on her so quickly. Another part of her wants to keep the peace, especially with Tet so close. She can feel the eyes of others nearby, even if they pretend not to listen. In places like this, conversations travel fast. A raised voice, a tense exchange, people remember those things. Huyen chooses her words carefully. She says again that she has nothing to hide, and she doesn't believe telling a child to stay quiet is the right approach. If there's confusion, it should be cleared up honestly. But she keeps her tone respectful, knowing that pushing back too hard will only make the situation worse. Her former mother-in-law, however, seems more focused on control and clarity. She repeats her demands, saying she just wants things to settle down and not turn into a bigger mess. She's visibly upset, not just angry, but anxious, as if she's afraid of what might come out if people keep talking. After a tense pause, she turns away, leaving Huyen standing there with a knot in her stomach. The market noise slowly fills the space again. Voices bargaining baskets, shifting scooters passing. But Huyen barely notices. Her hands rest on the edge of the stall, her thoughts racing. What should have been a straightforward morning of selling fruit has suddenly become heavy with implication. She looks down at the pomelos, still fresh, still fragrant, but the sweetness of the moment is gone. Now she's thinking about Maya, about misunderstandings, about how easily words can twist into something harmful when passed from person to person. She's also thinking about the pressure placed on her to fix something she didn't break, to manage other people's fears for them. This isn't just about the past showing up unexpectedly. It's about being pulled into a story she didn't choose, right in front of strangers at the worst possible time. As she straightens the fruit and prepares to call out to customers again, one question lingers in her mind. Should she stay quiet to keep things peaceful, or speak clearly and risk stirring up more trouble? With Tet approaching and tensions already high, the answer won't be simple. But one thing is certain, this unexpected confrontation has shifted the direction of her day, and possibly much more than that. While Huyen is tied up with work, moving between the market and the house, juggling Tet preparations, another story quietly unfolds back home. That morning, Jay's mother is out running errands on her own. The streets are busy, but her pace is unhurried, her thoughts focused on what still needs to be bought for the house. On her way to the market, she notices a young woman sitting on the side of the road. The girl looks exhausted, slumped against a wall, her face pale and streaked with tears. She's clearly been there for a while, clothes, dusty hands, trembling eyes unfocused, as if she hasn't slept or eaten properly. Most people pass by without stopping. Some glance over, then look away. But Ja's mother slows down. She watches the girl for a moment, her heart tightening. There's something about the way the girl cries, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like she's run out of strength, that makes it impossible to ignore. Ja's mother approaches and gently asks what's wrong. At first, the girl doesn't answer, only shakes her head, tears spilling over again. Whatever she's been through, it's clear she's reached her limit. Seeing this, Ja's mother doesn't hesitate for long. She helps the girl to her feet and offers to take her home, just for a while. No promises, no questions yet, just a place to rest. She explains simply that the house is empty during the day and that the girl can stay there temporarily to recover. Faced with kindness, she wasn't expecting, the girl nods weakly and follows her. When they arrive, Ja's mother settles the girl inside, gives her water, and encourages her to sit down. Only then does she begin to realize how young she really is, still carrying that fragile look of someone who hasn't had much protection in life. The girl eats slowly, as if afraid the food might disappear, and soon exhaustion catches up with her. She curls up and falls asleep almost immediately. Standing there watching the girl finally rest, Ja's mother feels both relief and concern. Helping her feels right, but she knows this isn't a small decision. With Huyen away and the house usually quiet, she's unsure how long the girl should stay or what the next step should be. This isn't just about offering shelter, it's about responsibility. That's when she decides to call Jay. Her voice on the phone is urgent but controlled. She tells him to come home as soon as possible, saying only that there's something important he needs to see and help decide. She doesn't go into details. This is the kind of situation better explained face to face. When Ja arrives, he can sense immediately that something is different. The house feels heavier, somehow quieter than usual. His mother leads him inside, gesturing toward the room where the girl is resting. As he steps closer and gets a clear look at her face, he stops short. Recognition hits him all at once. It's Hana. For a moment, he just stands there, stunned. This isn't a stranger. This is someone he knows, someone from his past. Memories rush back the day he first met her injured and frightened. The time he helped her when she was lost and had nowhere to go. The night he brought her back to Huyen's house after she'd been hurt in the forest. He remembers how quiet she was, how guarded, how grateful for even the smallest kindness. He hadn't expected to see her again. Not like this. His mother watches his reaction closely and immediately senses there's more to the story. She asks if he knows the girl, her tone careful but curious. Jay nods slowly, then explains who Hana is and how they crossed paths before. As he speaks, the weight of the situation settles in. This isn't a random encounter. It feels almost like fate, pulling old threads back into the present. Ja looks at Hana again. She's sleeping now, her breathing shallow but steady. Whatever happened to her after they last met clearly wasn't easy. The exhaustion etched into her face tells its own story. His mother listens quietly, absorbing everything. She doesn't interrupt or judge. When he finishes, she lets out a soft sigh. I couldn't just leave her there, she says. She looked like she had nothing left. Jay understands. He would have done the same. But understanding doesn't make the decision easier. With Ted approaching, emotions already run high, and the household is in the middle of careful preparations. Bringing someone from the past back into the picture, especially someone with such a complicated history, adds a layer of tension no one was expecting. Ja feels conflicted. Part of him wants to help Hana again, just like before. Another part of him worries about how this will affect Huyen, the household, and the fragile sense of balance they've been building. Timing couldn't be worse. Standing there between his sleeping past and his present responsibilities, Ja realizes this moment could change the direction of everything. What began as his mother's simple act of compassion has turned into something much bigger. A reunion loaded with unanswered questions and difficult choices. Outside, the day goes on as usual. The market buzzes. People prepare for Tet. But inside the house, time seems to pause, waiting for a decision that won't come easily. One thing is clear, Hana's return isn't just coincidence. Whatever happens next, it will force all of them to confront the past, right in the middle of a season meant for peace, family, and new beginnings. When Hana finally feels well enough to speak, her story comes out slowly, piece by piece. She explains that she once went to the city to look for her husband, hoping to rebuild a life that had already begun to fall apart. Things didn't turn out the way she'd imagined. The marriage failed, her husband's family turned their backs on her, and before she knew it, she was completely on her own. With no money, no place to stay, and nowhere left to go, she drifted from one temporary stop to another, until she ended up wandering the streets, exhausted and overwhelmed. Jay's mother listens quietly, her expression softening with every word. She doesn't interrupt or press for details. To her, the important thing is clear: this young woman has been through more than her share of hardship. And right now, she needs stability more than anything else. After a moment of thought, she makes a decision that feels natural to her. She tells Hannah she can stay at the house for a while, not permanently, but long enough to rest, recover, and get back on her feet. It's not just an act of kindness toward Hannah. It's also a way to ease her own loneliness while the house is often empty during the day. Jay agrees. He understands his mother's need for company, and he remembers Hannah well enough to know she isn't someone who would take advantage of kindness lightly. Before leaving, he makes sure everything practical is taken care of. He tells his mother to keep rice, eggs, and basic cooking supplies stocked, so both of them can eat properly. He also makes sure Hannah knows where things are and reassures her that she doesn't need to worry about anything for now. Once things are settled, Jay heads off to find Huyen and explain what's happened. When Huyen hears the story, her emotions are mixed. Her first reaction is sympathy. She feels genuine compassion for Hannah. No one deserves to be abandoned and left to wander without support. At the same time, a knot of worry tightens in her chest. The timing couldn't be more complicated. She's still dealing with the tension from earlier that day, when her former mother-in-law caused a scene at the market and left her feeling unsettled and exposed. Now on top of that, there's a stranger staying at Jay's mother's house, someone tied to Jay's past, someone whose presence could easily lead to misunderstandings or uncomfortable situation. Huyen doesn't say no. She doesn't accuse or object. But she can already sense that the days ahead may not be simple. With Tet approaching, emotions are already running high, and small issues have a way of growing quickly. A guest like Hannah, even one who means no harm, brings uncertainty into an already delicate balance. Still, after a moment of reflection, Huyen chooses her response carefully. She tells Jay she understands. She says it's right to help Hannah, at least for now. Compassion comes first. Questions and boundaries can be figured out later. What matters most is that everyone treats each other with respect and kindness. That choice to lead with decency instead of suspicion sets the tone for what comes next. Inside, Huyen remains cautious. She knows from experience that good intentions don't always prevent conflict. There will be sensitive moments, awkward conversations, and perhaps even misunderstandings that no one can predict yet. The pressure from her former in-laws hasn't disappeared, and Hannah's presence may unintentionally add fuel to old tensions. But she also knows that turning someone away in their most vulnerable moment would weigh on her conscience far more heavily. So for now, the family moves forward with care. Jay feels the weight of responsibility more than ever. He's aware that every decision he makes now affects not just himself, but the fragile peace they've been trying to build. He reminds himself, and later Huyen, that this arrangement doesn't have to be permanent. It's a pause, a chance for Hannah to breathe and recover, and for everyone else to see the situation more clearly with time. As evening falls, the house settles into an uneasy but sincere calm. Nothing dramatic happens. No arguments, no confrontations. Just people coexisting, each carrying their own worries, quietly. Huyen reflects on how quickly life has shifted in a single day. In the morning, she was focused on selling pomelos and preparing for Tet. By nightfall, she's navigating old conflicts and new uncertainties at the same time. It's overwhelming, but also revealing. In moments like these, choices matter more than comfort. For now, the family chooses kindness. They choose patience. They choose to help first and sort out the rest later. Whether that choice will bring peace or invite more challenges remains to be seen. But as Tet draws closer, they hold on to the hope that treating each other with humanity, especially when things are complicated, is still the best place to start.